Hi, Chef Claire here, and today we're going to make lasagna noodles. The lasagna noodles can be used for either lasagna, ravioli, cannelloni, or manicotti. And we're going to use the Emeril Pasta Beyond pasta maker to do that. So let's go to the drawer and pull out the disc that we'll need to make the lasagna. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it so the gap is on the bottom. I'm going to secure it. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a 9x9 lasagna. The sheets are going to be roughly about 9 inches, and there's going to be 3 to a layer. So you're going to have a bottom layer, a middle layer, and a top layer, which will create a meat and a cheese layer. That's how I like to make my lasagna. So we're going to start with flour. Now we got all-purpose flour, and once again, and we're also going to make sure we level it off. It's very important that we're precise here. Now we're also going to use some semolina flour. Now with lasagna, it's very important that you use extra fine semolina flour. And once again, we're going to level that off. There's different types of semolina. You just want to make sure that you use the fine. Okay, now we're going to mix our eggs. It's going to be 2 eggs. And we're going to beat them so they're nice and smooth going into the pasta machine. We're going to add a tablespoon of olive oil because olive oil adds flavor and it makes the dough a little more pliable. And with the ravioli, you kind of need that. It's very important. And to the dry, a teaspoon of salt. Now we're going to secure the lid. And now we're going to add water. And with the ravioli, you have to go above the double batch line. It takes more water. So it's approximately 1/4 cup. We're going to go to the power button. We're going to hit for 2 batches. 1, 2. 19 minutes. Now we're going to pour in the liquid. And the important thing about lasagna is it has to be a little more soft, the dough, to come out, and the sheets that you need to have come out of the extrusion part. So if we find that the dough seems a little dry, I'm going to add a little more water. The lasagna is a little more tricky, but nonetheless, once you get the hang of it, it's a great disc, and it's a great tool to be able to make lasagna sheets. So we're going to keep an eye. It's going to mix for about 3 more minutes. So I'm going to add a little more water because the dough is a little dry, and it's going to have a really hard time extruding out of the lasagna disc. So this is the exception to the rule that we want to see. And I start with a tablespoon because I can control the water. So I'm going to let it mix another second, and I'm going to add just a little bit more, I think. It's just very important to get the right consistency. You almost want it so it sticks together a little bit more than it did in the past recipes. A little bit more. A couple drops more. That's good. Okay, it has about a minute more on mixing, and then we're going to take out a little bit to see exactly if it's soft enough so that it'll come out in beautiful sheets. It's very important that it comes out in really nice sheets. If it doesn't, then we just need to mix a little more water in. So this disc is an interesting one, but it makes beautiful sheets of pasta once you get the hang of it, and it's perfect. I can already tell it should be excellent. Okay, so I put it on pause because I want you to see the consistency of what we're looking for. See, it's holding together a little bit more. And remember, if for any reason it clumps up and it doesn't come out of the machine, we add a tiny bit of flour and it will come out just as easy. So now we're going to put the lid back on. So what I like to do is, if it starts to come out, I take like about 6 inches off, but I have to say, it looks pretty nice right now. So we might not have to take a piece off and throw it back into the bowl. It might just come out perfect. But don't be alarmed if you have to do that. So, because you want your sheets to be really pretty and perfect. And again, we're gonna make these like 9-inch sheets. So again, the lasagna disc is for manicotti, cannelloni. You can use it for ravioli. So it has a lot of different uses in just one disc. And I've made the cannelloni, I've made the manicotti, I've made the lasagna. Excellent. The one recommendation that I have in making lasagna is some people do no boil lasagna sheets. So it's going to tend to be doughier if you don't boil it. But I suggest that you boil the lasagna sheets for 4 to 5 minutes, and that will soften the sheet before putting in lasagna. The only other thing is if you choose not to boil the pasta, then make sure the sauce is a little bit more watery so it will absorb into the pasta. But I'd say that's probably the size I want. And look, beautiful sheets that come right out. Now see, it's starting to clump. So now we're going to do the opposite of the water. We're going to just add a little bit of flour. And you notice when I lift the lid, it stops automatically. And there you go. It starts to break up the clump and continues to come out in beautiful sheets. Beautiful lasagna sheets using the Emeril Pasta Beyond.
For more information, tips, tricks, and delicious recipes, please watch our videos at emerilpastabeyondinfo.com.